Now you'll want to definitely take a look at this guide called When Things Go Wrong. You can find the URL link up here. There's a few things you might want to try in case something goes wrong with your app. The first thing is to make sure that you've disabled a feature called Instant Run. And if you remember in the Android Studio setup slides, we showed you how to go to the Preferences section, find Instant Run, and make sure that this checkbox was disabled. Instant Run was a feature that tried to help avoid rebuilding your entire app between runs, but more often than not, it causes problems when you're developing and changing things around. You can clear the project caches, and you can uninstall and reinstall to make sure that there isn't some weird state. But if you get to that point and you're still finding issues, you really want to walk through sort of the process of trying to understand what's going on. And the first thing you want to do is make sure you can reliably reproduce the issue. So you want to be able to do is break down the problem and describe exactly what you saw when you did a certain thing and what you expected it to be. In other words, you should be able to fill out this sentence here. I expected the app to do this when I did this, but instead I saw this. And by breaking out the problem, you'll be able to describe to yourself what's going on, and you can relay this information to other people. So that way you're much more specific about what the issue is and hopefully allow you to pinpoint what the problem is. The second piece is you need to be able to describe exactly how this behavior happens. Break it down step by step. For instance, I launched the app, I started typing something in the search bar, I hit search, and then I was seeing stuff that I didn't expect. And you should try to repeat it over and over and over to make sure it's consistent and can be done. And you want to be able to distill the problem down to the smallest set of steps needed. And so boil it down as much as you can to a point where these are the minimum number of steps needed. Once you've done that, you really need to start figuring out what could possibly be contributing to the issue. You're sort of like a crime scene investigator. You've got clues about what's going on, but you need to identify the culprit. And sometimes you need to form a hypothesis yourself. Sometimes you need to go and eliminate certain culprits and convince yourself that those things aren't causing a problem. So for instance, in the search example, maybe the search button was being pressed, but we actually hadn't set up an event listener. Or maybe you had the event listener working, but you actually didn't make the network call. Or maybe you made the network call, but the response coming back is blank or comes back with an unexpected error code. Maybe you made the network call, but you're actually not parsing the data correctly. Maybe you're parsing the data correctly, but you haven't set up the recycler view. So you can see that there are multiple suspects, and it's your job to try to identify and pinpoint what the issue is. Now there are three tools that I'll show you to help you identify the culprit. The first is to use Toast. The second is to use logging. And the third, which is the most powerful but sometimes the most time consuming, is to use breakpoints. And we'll see how to use each of them in the next set of videos.